Hello. Hello, how's it going? Can you hear me? Can someone add a message on the chat? There are no viewers. I'm alone. Can someone? Okay. Let's wait a little bit, a few minutes, so we can get started. Okay, perfect. Thanks for the confirmation. Beautiful. Okay. Well, today we will have a session where we are going to understand a little bit what is a Hummingbot API, what we can do with it, and also how we can use MCP to leverage our training operations with natural language. So, well, to get started, let me open an Obsidian here, so we can make like we can have a brief idea of Scalidraw. So we can have an idea of the systems that we are going to talk about. Originally, you will see we have Hummingbot as the main thing that we have. Usually here in Hummingbot we run HFT strategies, run directional strategies. Oh, let's call it market making. Or let's say run let's say start strategies. Okay, and so basically this is deployed into a bot. The bot will load always the order book, the trades, account. Okay, so this is what we have when we run a Hummingbot instance, right? You probably are familiar with it. If you are from the start, this is a basic like entry point for all of you. And this is the official Hummingbot. Let's call it like Hummingbot / Hummingbot, like the repo, the GitHub repo. Okay. Then we also have Hummingbot / gateway that you can deploy alongside Hummingbot, and the gateway basically is like the concept is really one of the exchanges. Like you can consider the gateway like one of the changes that we can we say backward. This is the one of the changes that we support can be considered like the gateway, because with the gateway we have access to aggregators like Jupyter, no, sorry. Here what we can do with the gateway is we can get a price, swap, we can add liquidity, we can remove liquidity, we can collect fees, and all these in, for example, Solana, Ethereum, Base, and so, right? So the gateway, this repo of the gateway helps you do this interaction with the blockchain. You can connect wallets to whatever you want, and you can use them, right? The thing is that if you want to run one of these strategies, you need to do the setup of the gateway, you need to install it, you need to connect the credentials and so. Then you will need to run Hummingbot on the same machine, and then you start and you run a strategy, okay? The thing is that this setup is requires a lot of like human work, right? To make this like work. That's why we created what we're going to see today, Hummingbot API. Why it has Hummingbot API? It has a bunch of functionalities, like here we have functionalities to manage accounts, get balances across all the accounts. We can trade, we can deploy bots, we can deploy the gateway, get databases, get archived bots data. Like if you run strategy, you can get the trades from that strategy, get real-time bots status, and so these are the functionalities that this Hummingbot API provides us. That is probably really new. It's like the last 2 years we have been working on this to make it more accessible for anyone running Hummingbot to deploy and control bots. If you check, these are the Swagger docs. Once you start the gateway, the Hummingbot API, these are all the things that you can do. It's basically like a very good API to interact with everything related in the Hummingbot ecosystem. And recently, I added the Hummingbot MCP. That we have some. This is what we are going to probably cover the most today. That this MCP of Hummingbot basically lets you control the Hummingbot API, but with natural language. So that's the only main thing that we have. Manage Hummingbot API servers and control the API. Basically, we are going to be able to connect accounts. We are going to be able to get balances. We will be able to execute trades, rebalance our portfolio, deploy a new bot. We'll be able to do a bunch of different things. So we can consider these two repos more like high-level repos, and these two more like low-level repos that we're going to use. So if you are more like a Hummingbot user, you are not a Hummingbot developer, you'll probably play around much more with these two. If you are a developer, you'll probably play around more with these two, and also these two, because it's very helpful. But well, that is like the state of the art of what we are right now with Hummingbot. Right now there is an ongoing PR because there was a lot of people that are requesting the integration of Hummingbot API and gateway, because you probably know Hummingbot API by the deploy repo. The deploy repo runs Hummingbot API, but we call it redeploy. Probably we will rename it at some point to Hummingbot API, and the dashboard make it something more like optional, because I think that the dashboard will be replaced soon with another like React dashboard or the MCP directly. Based on the request of people saying that hey, can we have the integration of the Hummingbot API and the gateway, I am currently working on that. So the first thing that you have here, I'm going to first introduce these gateway routes. Is this. Let me open the Docker desktop so you can see this alongside. I cannot drag this. Wait. Like this. I cannot be more compressed than this. Okay. Well, here the new things that we added is that in the Hummingbot API you can check the status of the gateway. Okay, it's running the container ID and so you can start, but well, right now it's already started. So this will say gateway is already running, stop it first. We can stop it. So see that here I have this gateway container. So here if I execute it, it will take a little bit of time because the container takes a little bit to get stopped. But well, it's very fast then. So you can see it's stopped. You can start it again and it will be running. And I don't know if you are aware, but if you change the gateway config, for example, you change the RPC node or you change token list, I think also, you need to restart the gateway. So, well, I have an issue right now. Outdated max fee. Seems like I have an issue. Sorry. Because I'm using the gateway in development. Wait. The gateway in development mode uses a different file structure. Development. That's why it was failing like the. Okay, now it's working. The development branch of the gateway has some fixes that's why I'm using that one. So I was saying that in case that you want to do a restart, there is also a restart endpoint here where we can just restart the gateway and see that it's very fast. The restart is very fast compared to the stop one. Then we can also get the gateway logs. Now this one will let you like diagnose what is happening. We can get the connectors available. This is more like config stuff. Jupyter, like the available networks, all that stuff. And you can also get the connector config, Jupyter, and with this you can understand this and then update it if you want. The same for the chains, for the pools, for the networks, and so. So this is basically like a new addition in the Hummingbot API to start controlling the gateway container, and this automatically allows that when you deploy a strategy using the dashboard or Hummingbot API using MCP, you can also run now arbitrage strategies between dexes and sexes because now the gateway will be available. Another router that I added here is gateway trading that I'm currently working on this one, but basically you can query, for example, the price of Jupyter Solana USDC. You can get the price, you can execute a swap, and so. The only ones that are right now working are these two. Now I'm going to work on this CLLM at position stuff, but we are currently focusing on only this swap stuff right now. Well, any question up to this point that you want to ask about the gateway or Hummingbot API or so? Okay, well, so what I wanted to share right now is this. Oh, sorry, I opened this Rust. What I wanted to share right now is this the repo of Hummingbot API, and my point here is like, how can you like control this API, because going to the docs is more like to understand how it works and all the things that are available, or doing some debugging if there is an error, because there might be errors. But the thing is like, how can you like really understand and use the Hummingbot API very well? There is a repo called I'm trying to tinker with the quants DAO and do a strategy and backtest it, but keeping getting an error about being on. Well, if you can paste the error that you are having, that would be more helpful. But the errors there can be that the exchange that you want to use are probably does not probably have the candles. That's one potential error. But well, if you paste the error, it's easier to understand what you're having. But this live stream is for MCP and Hummingbot API. But if you paste your error, I can also help you. But the goal is questions or things that you want to know about this. Well, this MCP basically is like a tool set of things that we are going to provide to our AI agent, the AI agent that we are using, right? So the AI agent that we are using, that I'm using, for example, in this case, let me put this here, and this one, where is it? Is here. This will be here, so we can also see the logs. Okay. Well, so this MCP that I'm saying is like, the way that you should be using this is probably having like a folder called, like, for example, trading operations, where you initialize Claude, and then you can probably add some instructions or whatever you want. In this case, let's say that I'm going to use the MCP repo, documents, code, MCP. So the first thing is that I have this configured. How you configure this? In my case, I have this in Claude, Claude.json. So if you go to Claude.json, you have the configuration of Claude. I look for MCP, that is the folder I'm saying that you should be using, like a trading whatever. And here in the MCP servers, the command is Docker. We encourage all of you to use the Docker Hummingbot MCP. Basically, these are the things that you need to do to use it. Why? Because first, you don't need to clone any repo to use it, and secondly, all of you have Docker, so we make sure that you don't have environment problems. And third, this like volume is very good to keep your servers kind of safe and all the information inside the container. But you can use it from source if you want. I don't recommend it, but it's whatever you want. So once you have in the documentation, we have the configuration of that. So don't worry, you can check it there. But once you open like Claude, if you do /MCP, you will see that we have here Hummingbot MCP connected. You can view the tools. What tools do we have? We have set up a connector. This is very nice because we can like basically get all the available connectors, get the credentials, see what things are necessary to connect to an exchange, and then connect it. Then I just added this one that is configure API servers. that is in case that, for example, you have a 3 different servers with Hummingbot API, you can label them and say this is server 1 with this IP address, this user and password. This is server 2 with this IP address, user and password. And this is server 3 with this IP address, user and password. Then you can get the portfolio balances, you can place an order, you can set up an account position model leverage, get orders, get positions, get prices, get candles, get funding rate, get order book, explore controllers. This is like really nice because in explore controllers you can get the controllers available and you can also get the code of a controller. And this is kind of useful because you are passing the controller code specifically to an AI that can understand how the controller works, help you to understand it, and also help you creating a config for it. And also we have modify controllers in case that you want to modify one of them or the config. You can also deploy a bot with controllers and you can get the active bots, get the bot logs, manage the bot execution, stop a bot or controllers, manage gateway container. This is a new task for the gateway, and the gateway config and the gateway swaps. So in total we have like 21 tools available here that is actually working like surprisingly very well. So then let's see how we can like use it, or how you can configure, for example, a remote server. I have a remote server running. Let me see, because I have it here. I'm trying this new one that is called Hostinger. But let me see. Wait. Well, first we can say what servers do I have running. So if I ask this information, it will say that I have configured you have the inactive bots running, but what API servers? You should only say like localhost. By default is in localhost internal because it's running here. Now another thing that you can do with this is what are my balances? It will tell me checking your portfolio balances across all the connected exchanges. So it's checking, okay, I have, you see that here we can see the queries that is like executing. And here we have the responses, right? So here it says, okay, in Binance, we have major holdings. Then we have something on XRPL. And then we have also something on Solana mainnet. And so basically here, for example, we can ask like, okay, can you sell 100 USD of the BTC that I have in Binance for USDC or USDT? So this is like something that you can do, for example, for doing a rebalance. You need to, if you are not confident that this is going to do something like consistent for you, you can just put yes, and every time that you are going to execute a transaction, it will ask you to confirm, okay, I want to sell this amount at market with this master account, with this trading pair in Binance. If you are confident, you can just put yes, don't ask again, and every time that you would like to do the same thing, it will be doing that like automatically. So we created the order, status submitted, everything okay. So now if we check like what are my balances now, we have 473, and then if we see this again, we should see the change on the balance. It's taking a little bit. This is not it's time of Claude, like internet takes for Claude. But yeah, you see that now it says before the BTC was this amount, and now the BTC is this amount, the amount that we sold before and after. Well, the order execution worked really well. So for rebalancing the portfolio, works really well. Then we can also do it on the gateway side. So this is another good thing. Now we can swap using natural language if you have connected DEX accounts. For example, here I have Sol, and I have like USDC and USDT and some WIF. So I can ask, can you sell one USDC? Can you sell one USDC for USDT on my Solana account? So in this case, it will be querying the endpoint to do the swap on Solana. You see gateway swap quote. First it's quoting the swap to do that change. Then it's executing the swap. And if we go here, wait. If we go here, we will see that it just swapped this amount. This is right now, like 130, and it should be right now. Perfect. And here it's also saying the swap is now processing on the Solana blockchain. Can you track it here? Gives us the SolScan link in case that you want to track it. Or we can say, can you poll for the transaction? So we can see if it's confirmed or not. And here we should see the output, if it was confirmed or not. You see transaction confirmed, the SOT transaction was confirmed, the portfolio balances now should say that instead of having like $2 of USDC and $1.93, we should have like 113 and 2.93. So perfect, all the changes were okay, and the gas fees, all that stuff. The good thing is that also all of this is in the database. So if you go to gateway swaps, this is the last one, confirm the gas fees that we paid, and if there is an error, it will appear here. But very good, we have everything registered. And well, that's basically right now what we can do in terms of controlling your accounts and doing rebalances. This is very, if you are like used to have multiple accounts, this is like extremely useful, because the other option that you have is to enter manually on all the UIs that you have to enter in Binance UI, OKX UI, Solana or Phantom wallet, or the wallet that you're using. Confirm, go to Jupiter, do the swap, all that stuff. We are like doing a very streamlined process where you just chat with Claude or chat with Gemini CLI that is free also, or any AI that has or supports MCP. Hey Jay, no, don't worry. You can just with natural language manage a bunch of the accounts that you have connected, and don't worry about entering on each specific exchange to execute the transactions that you need to execute. So well, this is like the basic usage. Basic usage is okay. We just want to trade, or we just want to do a swap or get a balance, all that stuff. For example, if we see the Bitcoin trade, we should see the Bitcoin trade happening here. So you see that we just sold the Bitcoin here. And well, that's basically what we were like doing, right? So well, another thing that you can do with this like MCP is like, for example, saying what are the controller configs available. So it can also tell us like what are the what are the controller configs available. So it will give us a list of the available ones. So basically, the only thing that we have is only for this PMM. And for Grid Strike, we have a bunch of them for Grid Strike. I don't see Grid Strike. 48 configs of Grid Strike. Grid Strike is like an agreed strategy, basically, right? So I would say, can you get one Grid Strike config on config on Solana, on Sol, let's say. So we can also use it to explore we can also explore the configs, and it can also like explain us the configs that we have. So it will give us this on Binance Perpetual. Okay, I would say yes, I want to create a new config for, let's say that we can trade on Sol FDUSD here. It's bugged. This value is bugged. It should be 190 as well right now. Yeah. So let's say that we would like to run on Solana this config, right? Let's see how much funds we have. We have 1.5k. So let's say I want to create a config for Sol FDUSD, and I want to allocate as total amount quote 1.5k. I want to trade on Binance, and the start and the limit, start and end prices should be, let's say, we can put like, or maybe we can, yeah, we can do it. 189, 189.2, and let's say that we are going to go up to 191, let's say 191. I want to keep position equal to true. And the rest should be the default. And the last mean order amount quote equal to 6, and the rest should be the default. So the good thing is that you can also you don't need to go into the YAML. You can also ask, oh wait, and the take profit, I want 0.01%. You don't need to go to the server to modify the YAML, all that stuff. You can just ask with natural language to do this. And I'm just showing this for one pair because it's easier to show it for one pair. But the thing is that once you have this kind of automated, you can say now create this grid for 10 pairs, and you will be running the grid for the 10 pairs, right? So well, now it says would we like you to deploy it now? Let's say yes. Let's see if it fails. It might fail because probably one parameter is wrong, and then we can check it and modify it. The good thing is that it can also modify the config of a bot that is running, so that is also quite useful. So yeah. J Culture says, I'm fine with increasing trust when running, say one on droplet server locally. Yeah, you can run the two of them in the same server if you want. So yeah. It's well, you already deployed the bot, so we can already see it live and running. It has 2 orders maximum at a time per side. Seems like it's not getting executed, but well, let's say you want to check the bot status. I would say yes. Okay, recent train activity. Well, seems like it's the mean spread between orders. How much was? It's putting oh, okay. I think that it understood that the mean order amount was in Solana rather than in FDUSD. So it put the mean order amount in 6 FDUSD was actually not. I think that it put the mean order amount in 165 because for some reason it's very big, the orders. Let's check here. We can check the config controllers. So it should be this one. Oh no, mean order amount quote 6, but well, for some reason, or maybe the mean spread between orders 0.1. This is why it has very wide orders. We should be if we want more train activity, we can decrease the mean spread between orders to 0.0 CO2. But in order to take this effect, we should say, can you stop the controller only? So this will stop the controller, and it will stop also the grid. And then we should be able to start the controller again. When it stops the controller, the only thing that does is it moves this to like manual kill switch. Should be somewhere here. And say, can you start the controller again? So this should be like starting the controller again. Or maybe not. No, it's not here. It's in instances. Conf. Controllers. Manual kill switch. Well, let's say. Okay. Easy because I didn't modify the other one. I would say stop. Well, we can say like to this, we can say like stop and archive the bot. This should be like killing this bot instance that we have running here. Actually, this is, you can see it because it's running in Docker. So if you go to, if you go here to Docker, you will see that we have this bot running here. That is a bot that we just started. But now we ask to stop it. So it will be, the process starts, but this process takes like 20 seconds because it kills the container. So now you see the container is not anymore here. And also the folder that was here, it was moved to this archive folder, you see. So now, if we want to deploy it again, like this grid long, the same that was here, we can just say to the MCP, now deploy it again. And this will be, well, before I want to put activation bounds. That is for me something important to avoid having like a lot of orders placed directly. So well, this will be like deploying the bot again. And well, what is the best thing about this? If you are like a Hummingbot user from a long time, every time that you want to deploy a bot in production or in a server, there is this like process where you need to go do the configuration, do the deploy and all that stuff. Once you build your own presets for this, it's very easy to scale and very easy to deploy multiple bots later on. And let me see, because it seems like it's not starting. Let's see what is this doing. Yeah, the problem is that we already the bot did some trades originally, so it's not able to place orders because it does not have budget. But we can say, can you get the bot status since it is not running? So the AI should be able to diagnose what is happening based on the logs of the bot. Because now the AI, the MCP, also have access to the logs of the bot. So it will be able to read and say, okay, the problem is that you don't have budget to open the grid because we were saying that we want a grid with 1.5K and you see, there is no budget to open the position. amount per level, you can place orders, the total budget, and the available is that. I would say, can you get the balance and sell sold at market to get the one that we need? So this should be like getting the actual balances of the exchange, because didn't update the balance before. And then based on this information should say, okay, now I can sell some Solana, and we will see a sell happening here, or a change on this. You see now appear the sell, and now the bot started because now has a balance again to run. So this is really powerful, because now you can have like you don't need to go to the logs, understand very well, because now the AI can do it for you mostly. So gives a lot of like advantages in terms of usage of the tools. And well, you can do this from any AI client like Cloud Code or Gemini CLI or whatever you want. And yeah, it's like really like promising what you can build with this. The good thing is that also you can configure a remote server. So let's say that we have a remote server. It's like, I would like to add a remote API server. So in case I want to add a remote API server, we need to pass the required information. So it says, what details you would like to configure from the new API server? It offers, provide all the details now. This is new, I think, really nice. But we can provide all the details, like the server name, the host port, username, and password. So let's say provide all the details now. I will need to now fill the details. So the details are like server name, let's call it like production, then host, this is what I want to see here because I don't remember. I have this for SSH. So the host is 85, 15, 60. Port will be 8000. Then user and password, I will complete it in the other screen because I didn't use admin for this one. I think that is this. Let me see if this one. No, I don't put the password correctly. I don't remember what password I use for the server. Fuck. Well, I need to restart the. Wait. What I can do is the following. I can go. Wait. I can SSH into the server. Wait a second. That I will get the real the real password that I forgot, but it's in the server. Ah, yeah, I remember now. Okay. Okay, I'm putting the user and password now. Will be this part of sorry, switch to default. Client reconnected. Now say again to production. Yeah, Miguel, what you are saying is a very good question. Sorry, where? It's a very good question. It's a very good question, and yes, what I was showing is that this is what the beginning of the session. Basically, we have this Hummingbot. Wait, let me go to this server to see if it's stopped or not, because maybe it's stopped and. Yeah, it's this one. 60. Yeah, it's working. Fuck. We'll say here, delete the production server. I need to check this because it was working before, so I need to validate. But yes, this would be it's part of the Hummingbot ecosystem. So wait, it. And basically, Hummingbot and Gateway are more like low-level repos where you probably code, strategies, all that stuff. And then the other repos, like Hummingbot API, is the one that lets you like control multiple accounts at the same time, rebalance your accounts, and anything related to manage multiple or more complex scenarios. And the MCP is the one that will let you like communicate with natural language with the Hummingbot API. So basically, you can do now everything with just cloud code. Set it as default. What I'm trying to show you right now is like no authentication failed. Fuck, I don't know why it's failing. I don't know what is failing this. I can't understand. But well, I'll need to check this. But the good thing of the MCP is that you can like say connect to this remote server, And as it's connecting to the local server that I have Hummingbot API running locally, it should be able to connect to these multiple servers. So yeah. So well, basically that's what we can expect. But for now, it's like not working to show you on the remote server. So probably for the next one, I can validate that. But basically, using this like local server right now, we can still see that we are like running on the bot that we defined together on Binance. And as this bot that I just decided now to deploy this like grid bot, we can run like any bot. It's like doesn't matter that it's a grid in this case. You can deploy PMM, you can deploy like the bot that you would like to deploy. So there is no like limitation. But well, right now the next thing that we can do, for example, here is to now say like, okay, what's the performance of the bot? And you will be using also the MCP to get the status of the bot. Set as API server the default server, because it's setting up the other server. Okay. Default server connected, and now it's not active. Now you can check the performance, check it. So we'll be able to check the performance and tell us like the performance of the bot. And so how you can use this, for example, if you have the structure of the grid, for example, like the one that I'm showing right now, of this like grid bot with the take profit that you want, the order frequency, the activation bounds, and everything related to how you want to configure the bot that you're going to deploy. You can use it to, for example, we wake up in the morning, you analyze some of the positions that you have, you decide, okay, this position I would like to reduce it. You can use API to reduce the position. You can say increase this position. You can, for example, if you are like doing perps trading or perps, if you are farming perpetual points, for example, on Hyperliquid or another exchange, you can say, I don't know, can you tell me the funding rate on Sol USD on Hyperliquid perpetual, and the one for Binance perpetual, and it should be able to get the funding rates. Based on that, you can decide, okay, short here and go long here. Okay, failing to get the funding rate. Okay, you finally get it. So the funding rate is this one, and the funding rate is this one. So you can use this to, or any other token, and then say, okay, go short on Hyperliquid and go long on Binance. And well, but like that, there are like multiple things that you can do with this MCP. You can also say, okay, now deploy a short grid, now deploy a long grid, or now run a PMM bot, or now, well, all the different controllers that are available there, you can do them. And as I mentioned, you can also use it more like as a helper agent that will be able to buy and sell and rebalance your portfolio for you. So, well, that's basically all about this session of MCP and Hummingbot API. If someone has a question, it's the right moment to do it. Solana is going up, so that's really good, at least for me. Now I say stop the bot that we have running. But if anyone has a question right now, it's a good moment to execute the question. If not, we're going to close the live stream. Potentially see you the next week. So, well, I will wait because there is a small delay. Well, seems like there are no more questions. So thank you all very much, all of you, for joining. And well, then we will have the recordings, so you can watch it again in case that you need to get started with Hummingbot MCP.